Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association and Joint Action Committee decides to suspend its agitation against Dr. P.J. Antony's service extension for 3 days with effect from June 17. Decision comes after 7-member parliamentary committee asked NASA to reconsider the decision. Demanding a free and fair trial, former Deputy Commissioner of Nagaland, Rennie Wilfred, accused in a sexual misconduct case, approaches High Court seeking transfer of the case from the Twensang POCSO Court. Wilfred tells court of facing life threat as social campaign is going on against him. As incessant rainfall and landslides in Meghalaya continues to disrupt normal lives, 4 killed in East Khasi Hills district due to landslide. Road services badly hit as West Jaintia Hills district also severely affected, resulting damages in many places. Agnipath protest nation continues to witness massive outrage against Agnipath recruitment scheme for the 3rd day in row. Angry protesters vandalized several trains and buses, jamming highways and roads, besides pelting stones to security personnel. Election Commission directs government to amend law by which candidates barred from contesting election from 2 different constituencies. EC points out that in case the law cannot be put into effect, a hefty fine would be imposed upon candidates who won from both constituencies and had to quit one. Good evening, viewers. You are watching English Primetime News. I'm Asen here. Now let's look at the stories in detail. The Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association and Joint Action Committee has decided to suspend its agitation for 3 days with effect from June 17. The decision comes after result made by the 7th-member parliamentary committee headed by MLA Dr. Chotizil Saso in a joint meeting with the Staff Association on June 15. The team members included Mutsupu Chamir Tongpang Urzakam, KT Shukalu, Matung Yantan, Medo Yoka and Kihovi Yaptomi. NASA stated that the committee assured that their grievances would be addressed positively. However, the association also set a few conditions that the temporary suspension of the agitation would be strictly enforced on the condition that during the suspension period, the appointment order of Dr. P.J. Antony is revoked and his entry to the assembly premises restricted, as well as the office of the Principal Secretary (NLA) is not functional during 3 days. The association maintained that the agitation would resume if the demands of the NASA and JAC are not fulfilled during the suspended period. Former Deputy Commissioner of Nagaland, Rennie Wilfred, who has been accused in a sexual misconduct case, approached the Kohima bench of Guwahati High Court seeking for the transfer of his case. Wilfred asked to transfer his trial from the POCSO Court of Twensang to the nearest court, citing that he would be denied a free and fair trial in the POCSO Court at Twensang. The next hearing in the trial has been fixed on June 21. Wilfred is currently charged under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act on allegations of sexual misconduct against 2 minor girls from Nagaland. His complaint was filed formally in the Nagaland police station on July 27, 2021. The counsel for Rennie Wilfred urged the Kohima bench of Guwahati High Court for transfer of the case, stating that Wilfred has been facing serious threat to his life, while also stating that Wilfred will never get a free and fair trial at POCSO Court of Twensang as a social campaign is going on against him. Taking into consideration of the submission of counsel of both sides, Justice Robin Pukan stated that further proceedings pending before POCSO Court Twensang till June 27. The Department of Health and Family Welfare Nagaland on Thursday held a press conference regarding the status of COVID-19 and also updated on the status of vaccination progress in the state. The department during its press conference stated that state's update on vaccination is still very less and very slow. After the initiation of COVID vaccination on January 16, 2021, the department said that state is still in progress of vaccination. As per ministry guidelines, the department has also initiated house-to-house Har Ghar Dastak campaign for 2 months. It was also mentioned that all the activities regarding vaccination drive is in progress. Notably, more than 58% of adult population are vaccinated. 49% vaccination has been covered for 15 to 17 years, but there is still slow vaccination percentage for 12 to 14 years of age group. The vaccination for adult coverage is said to be higher than that of adolescent in the state.
But our state, the uptake of vaccination is very less and very slow. Since we have initiated the COVID vaccination 2021, January 16, till today our vaccination is in progress. As per the ministry guideline, we have initiated house-to-house campaign, Har Ghar Dastak, for 2 months. So all the activities, vaccination progresses, though it is slow, it is ongoing. So far, our adult population, 18 years and above, we have covered more than 58%, and our children, 15 to 17 years age group is 49%. Then 12 to 14 years age group, there's a very slow vaccination percentage coverage is still very less. So we are really disseminating information. Since adult coverage is high, our adolescents, children coverage should be also improved. So we are doing our best, and I request the media also to share the same message to the parents and teachers. Since our team are working school-wise, institution-wise, both private and government, we have enough.
The National Tuberculosis Elimination Program on Thursday conducted its first quarter review meeting at the IDSP Conference Hall, Directorate of Health and Family Welfare, Kohima. District's TB officers and World Health Organization consultants also attended the meeting. During the first quarter review meeting, the members deliberated on effective ways to achieve programs, targets, indicators, increase screening and eliminate tuberculosis. Notably, WHO medical consultant Dr. Collins Z. Sono, in a representation on state performance, stated that Kifre district has screened more than 3,000 presumptive TB, followed by Longlang district screening more than 2,000 in the first quarter, January to March 2022. Dr. Sono also encouraged districts to increase the screening on presumptive TB. Dr. Sono also stated that from first quarter, notification achievement was 87% and districts like Dimapur, Kifre and Mon achieved it, whereas Peren, Pek and Tuensang district needed to increase notification achievement. Dr. Sono also said that the success rate was 83% and HIV non-status for TB patient was 96%. As per the district-wise TB score for the state of Nagaland, Kifre district stood first with 90 marks, followed by Mokokchung district, 84 marks, and third was backed by Mon district with 80 marks, and that Tuensang district was the worst performing district. Rajat Sabha MP and BJP lawmaker S. Phangnon Konyak on Wednesday and Thursday had represented India in its 8th IPU Global Conference of Young Parliamentary Egypt. Indian delegation in Inter-Parliamentary Union President Dote Pacho met him and they had a discussion.
And other such significant ambitious targets. For the youth today, social media is the most active platform, and in our efforts to tackle climate change, social media can act as a great enabler, and if it is in a game-changing determined contributions.
In accordance with all Nagaland Taxi Association Directive, Anta Pungro Sub-Unit organized a felicitation program for the children of taxi drivers who scored first division in the recently declared result HSLC and HSSLC declared by Nagaland Board of School Education. The program was hosted at Pungro Area College Students' Union Hall. The program was chaired by Mrs. Lovely, while the keynote address was delivered by Anta Pungro Sub-Unit President CCTV, advising parents for quality education. Father Peter Pitungo, Principal LFS, encouraged parents to set an example life for their children, while also discouraging them from allowing handing out smartphones to their children. Three unlawful women from Dimapur who at first appeared to be shopping for shoes at the Dimapur New Market F-line area were actually thieves caught by the security camera. The CCTV footage shows these three women calmly examining shoes at a store, wherein one of them quickly stuffs a pair of shoes in a bag and leaves without alarming the shopkeeper. These three women, who by appearance looks tribal, showed no sign of being a thief or even looked suspicious. All this took places as while the shopkeeper appeared busy with other customers who were genuinely buying something from the store. In light of this situation, apparently a case has not been registered with the police, but the matter has been forwarded to the New Market Area Gaunbura. Incessant rainfall in Meghalaya caused a landslide in Dharang village on Dharang Shnongtep Road under Dauki police station limits in the West Jaintia Hills district. The restoration work is underway at present. Several roads were also damaged by landslides in the East Khasi Hills district. Meanwhile, 4 miners were killed and 2 were injured in a landslide that occurred at Latlarem village under Moplang C and RD block in Meghalaya's East Khasi Hills district. Among the decreased children, 2 were girls and all are below 10 years old. The injured persons are being given treatment at Moplang CHC. Furthermore, in view of the inclement weather, Meghalaya government has decided that schools will remain closed from 17th June to 28th June 2022. The government of Meghalaya has directed deputy commissioners to assess and examine on a case-to-case basis on the safety for the reopening of schools in their respective districts. Chief Judicial Magistrate Imphal West on Wednesday at Little School Flower, there was a bomb blast that happened. The accused has been named as Thonamjom Rishi Luwangcha, and on June 18th he has been given to police custody. After Modi's government has announced the Agnipath recruitment scheme on Wednesday, army aspirants have been protesting for the last 2 days against the scheme following vandalizing several trains and buses, jamming highways and roads and pelting stones. Reportedly, a mob of over 500 protesters ransacked and arsoned the BJP office in Madhepura, Bihar. Another mob set Sampark Kranti Express in Samastipura vandalized and set on fire. Agitators torched trains and public vehicles at the Danapur railway station in Bihar. The protesters blocked railway tracks and jammed roads in Nalanda, Bihar. Lakhisari railway tracks were blocked and Madhepura station in Bihar were fully vandalized. The incident was not only reported in Bihar but in other states as well. The agitators raised slogans in Haryana's Narwana Jind by blocking railway tracks, while in Balabgarh, stone pelting incident was reported. Furthermore, tractors full of protesters arrived outside Rohtak BJP office to join in the protest following Section 144 in Rohtak. Meanwhile, in Uttar Pradesh's Firozabad, buses were ransacked and stone pelting were reported in Mathura. Over 300 students in Madhya Pradesh Indore blocked Lambikhai Nagar railway tracks and created havoc by pelting stones. Hence, police fired tear gas shells to stop the protesters. Secunderabad railway station, Telangana, was also ransacked and set ablaze. Reportedly, buses have been vandalized by protesters in Varanasi, which is also Prime Minister Modi's Lok Sabha constituency. A total of 200 train services have been affected due to the ongoing agitation against the Agnipath scheme, where hundreds of youths burnt train coaches, vandalizing railroad property and blocking rail tracks and highways with boulders. The states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar saw a large number of youths vandalizing railway stations, setting train compartments ablaze and ransacking railway stations. In the violent protest, one has been reported dead, while many sustained injuries. As many as 35 train services stands cancelled, 13 short terminated, and around 20 trains under East Central Railway have been cancelled. The Union government on Thursday increased the upper age limit for recruitment in the armed forces under the Agnipath scheme to 23 years from 21 years in 2021. While announcing the Agnipath scheme on Tuesday, the government has said citizens between the age of 17 and 21, half and 21 will be eligible to apply for a 4-year tour of duty in the armed forces. However, the Ministry of Defense on Thursday said that one-time waiver in the age limit has been given as there has been no recruitment in the services in the last 2 years. The move comes amidst a violent protest against the recruitment scheme in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. While some protesters sought the reinstatement of the old method of recruitment in the armed forces, some demanded a reservation in jobs after the end of the 4-year stint in the armed forces. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Friday vouched for the central government's decision to approve the Agnipath scheme and said that it gives a golden opportunity to the youth to join the defence system and serve the country. The Defence Minister stated that due to a snag in the recruitment process in the army for 2 years, many youths did not get the opportunity to join the army. Furthermore, Singh stated that keeping in mind the future of the youth and showing sensitivity towards them, with the approval of the Prime Minister, the government decided that this time the age limit for the recruitment of Agnivas should be increased from 21 to 23 years. Further, Singh also added by saying that this will automatically increase the eligibility of many young people to become Agnivars. Singh furthermore stated that the recruitment process is set to start in a few days and appealed to all the youth to prepare in joining the army and take full advantage of it. Notably, Singh is in Jammu and Kashmir since yesterday for a 2-day visit to the Union Territory.
पिछले 2 साल से सेना में भर्ती की प्रक्रिया न होने के कारण बहुत से नौजवानों को सेना में भर्ती होने का अवसर नहीं मिला। ये सच्चाई है। इसलिए युवाओं के भविष्य को ध्यान में रखते हुए और उनके प्रति संवेदनशीलता दिखाते हुए प्रधानमंत्री जी के अनुमोदन पर सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि अग्निवीरों की भर्ती की आयु सीमा को इस बार बढ़ाकर 21 से 23 वर्ष कर दिया जाए। यह वन टाइम रिलैक्सेशन दिया गया है। इससे बहुत सारे नौजवानों को अग्निवीर बनने की पात्रता स्वतः मिल जाएगी।
Chief of Army General Manoj Pandey on Friday lauded the Centre for raising the upper age limit for Agnipath scheme amid massive protests erupting all over India. With political parties and individuals condemning the scheme, the BJP government raised the age bar from 21 to 23 years. General Pandey commented that the decision of the centre to raise the age bar would accommodate those youth who could not join the Indian Armed Forces during the past 2 years of COVID pandemic. General Pandey further commented that the Indian Army would commence training for the first batch of Agnivars in December 2022 and active service would begin in the middle of 2023. Concurrently, the general also urged the youth to avail the opportunity and serve the nation. It can be mentioned that 46,000 youths would be appointed as Agnivars for a period of 4 years under the scheme.
हमारी यूनिट्स और फॉर्मेशंस इस परिवर्तन या अग्निपथ स्कीम को अपनाने के लिए पूरी तरह तैयार और उत्सुक है। हमारा ये भी प्रयास है कि जल्दी से जल्दी हमारे आखिरी जवान तक इस स्कीम के बारे में हम जानकारी उनको प्रदान करें। दूसरी बात, जहाँ तक युवाओं का सवाल है, मेरी यह राय है कि उनको ये स्कीम के बारे में पूरी तरह अभी तक जानकारी सही तरह से मिली नहीं है। एक बार ये समझ जाएंगे पूरे स्कीम के बारे में तो उन्हें विश्वास।
Chief Air Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary on Friday, while speaking about the Agnipath scheme, appreciated the centre and also its decision to raise the upper age limit from 21 to 23 years. Chief Air Marshal Chaudhary stated that the scheme would enable the youth to become Agnivars and realize their dream of serving the nation. Air Chief also announced that the Indian Air Force would begin recruitment of Agnivars from June 24.
The government has recently announced the Agnipath scheme for enrollment in the armed forces. The age bracket for the scheme is 17.5 to 21 years. I am pleased to announce that the upper age limit for the first induction has been increased to 23 years of age. This change would permit.
The Central Naga students felicitated Viku Elatumi and Imsan Naru for clearing the Union Public Service Examination of 2021. The felicitation program was held at Hotel Saramati, Dimapur on the 17th of June 2022. Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister of Nagaland, Y. Paton, graced the program. Viku advised all the aspirants to work hard and be consistent and to keep God above all. whereas Walling stated that one needs to know his or her patient first and then work upon them. She also maintained that time management is very important and urged the aspirants to keep track of time while using social media and to believe in oneself.
The parents and relatives.
My message to the youths of present generation, the Nagas, would be to pursue your dreams with certain qualities which is required to pursue your dreams, and that will be hard work, which is very important, and discipline is required in your day-to-day routines, and with consistency and persistence you have to pursue your dreams, and above all else you have to trust in God, keep Him first in all your pursuits. That will be my small message to the Naga youths. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to share to the young Nagas that we need to know our passion first and work upon them. Hard work is the primary necessity. We have to know God. We have to keep Him first in all our ways. And I just want the Nagas to know that time management is very important.
As several protests continue to take place across country after the announcement of Agnipath recruitment scheme, several leaders have appealed to protesters to maintain law and order. Union Railway Ministers Ashwini Vaishnav appealed youth to not indulge in violent protests and not to damage property of the railways. Meanwhile, Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Renu Devi also stated that once 4 years are over, Agniverse will be given an economic package of Rs 12 lakh to start afresh. There will also be several priorities such as loans, educational courses and CAPF. However, sidelining the benefits to Agniverse, Renu Devi said that the opposition has been misleading the students and destroying properties by sending their goons. Furthermore, Haryana Minister Nltv also said that holding protest demonstrations is right in democracy, but resorting to arson and violence will not be tolerated. Nltv warned protesters of those being found involved in violence will not be spared. In the meantime, one person died among 13 people who were taken to hospital in Telangana, Hyderabad. It is also to be mentioned that the Haryana government has suspended mobile internet and SMS services to maintain law and order situation with immediate effect.
रेलवे आपकी संपत्ति है, राष्ट्र की संपत्ति है। इसको किसी भी तरीके से कोई नुकसान ना हो, ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है। तो मेरा निवेदन है कि किसी भी तरह के वायलेंट प्रोटेस्ट न करें और रेलवे की संपत्ति को बिल्कुल भी नुकसान न करें। ये आपकी संपत्ति, आप ही की सेवा के लिए है।
और अभी तक कितनी
मेरा निवेदन है सभी से, रेलवे आपकी संपत्ति है, राष्ट्र की संपत्ति है। इसको किसी भी तरीके से कोई नुकसान न हो, ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है। तो मेरा निवेदन है कि किसी भी तरह के वायलेंट प्रोटेस्ट न करें और रेलवे की संपत्ति को बिल्कुल भी नुकसान न करें। ये आपकी संपत्ति, आप ही की सेवा के लिए है।
और अभी तक कितनी
मेरा निवेदन है सभी से।
Amid the ongoing violent protest against the newly announced Agnipath recruitment scheme, Congress MP KC Venugopal has written a letter to the Standing Committee on Defence on Friday. Venugopal has urged the committee to convene an urgent meeting at the earliest to discuss and deliberate on the Agnipath scheme. He further said that violent protests are continuing across the country. There is widespread anger among the youth with regard to this scheme, particularly due to temporary nature, lack of pension and healthcare benefits. Hence, the MP urged the Standing Committee on Defence to discuss and deliberate upon Agnipath scheme in detail. Venugopal also requested the committee to invite all stakeholders and defence experts for their opinion and input on the same. With the presidential polls inching closer, the Bharatiya Janata Party on Friday constituted a 14-member campaign management committee to oversee preparations for the polls. Minister for Water Resources Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has been appointed as convener of the committee. Up until now, neither the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance or the oppositions have announced candidates for the polls. It has been learned that the BJP will be announcing their candidate next week ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's departure for Germany. Lately, the BJP has been reaching out to opposition parties. Hitherto, the BJP does not have the strength to win the presidential polls. The voting has been scheduled on July 18 and the counting of votes will be taken place on July 21. Congress President Sonia Gandhi has been detected with lower respiratory tract infection after she had been admitted to Gangaram Hospital in Delhi. Gandhi has been detected with COVID positive last week and was admitted to hospital. Party announced that Gandhi has been put under observation and is undergoing treatment. Speaking to media, Congress chief spokesperson Jairam Rahmiya informed that Sonia Gandhi was admitted on June 12 after detecting COVID positive along with nose bleeding. Hence, she has been admitted to hospital and immediately put under treatment with a follow-up procedure on Thursday morning. Ramesh further said that after Gandhi was admitted, she had been detected fungal infection in her lower respiratory tract. Gandhi continued to be under treatment along with post-COVID symptoms. The Election Commission on Friday directed the government to amend law by which candidates would be barred from contesting election from two different constituencies. The EC pointed out that in case the law cannot be put into effect, a hefty fine would be imposed upon candidates who won from both constituencies and had to quit one. The EC further pointed out that in such a case, a pie pool would have to be conducted which would lead to draining of public exchequer, wastage of manpower and other resources. The EC also stated that such circumstances would be an injustice to voters of the constituency the candidate quits. The proposed fine is ₹5 lakh for State Assembly and Legislative Council election and ₹10 lakh for Lok Sabha election. Up until now, as per electoral law of the country, a candidate is eligible to contest election from two different constituencies. With just 4 days to go before one of the biggest national entrance exams for admissions into engineering, tech and architecture colleges begins, the National Testing Agency will release the joint entrance examination main admit card on June 16 after 6 p.m. on the NTA JEE main website. Once released, the admit card would be made available for candidates to download from the official NTA website nta.ac.in as well as the official JEE main website. Candidates would be required to enter their registered user ID or roll number and password to download their JEE main 2022 admit card. NTA will be conducting the first session of the JEE main 2022 exams from June 20 to 29. The exams were initially supposed to take place in April but were postponed due to a clash with the board exams. So viewers, you are watching English Primetime News. That's all we have. Thank you so much for watching.
New YY Dynamite Instant Noodles. It's extra spicy. Taste that will blow your mind.
अरे तूने अभी तक कुछ किया ही नहीं।
अरे ये तो लो क्वालिटी टंकी है।
होशियारी मत दिखाओ, दुकानदार ने 5 साल की गारंटी दी है।
अरे 5 साल छोड़िए, इसका पानी पियेंगे ना तो